What's up guys, Excoundrel here, and today is a very quick video looking at an amazing resource that I found through a friend of mine's Twitter. It's a community-created Vainglory hub. You need to go check this out. It is fantastic. Watch the video, I'll explain everything, and hopefully you guys can get the same enjoyment out of it that I did. Incredible resource that has been published by a guy called Smash. I link all of his Twitters and all that kind of stuff in the description below. I'm sure he'll let me know if anything is missing, including links to this resource and where you can talk to him about it. Usually he responds on Twitter pretty quickly, so if you want to get in contact with the guy who created this, I will put that down in the description below. Now, this is an incredible resource. This has got so many things in it, and we're going to go through it just one by one to be able to explain each part. And it's a really cool way of being able to learn Vainglory, but also compare and theory craft, because it's got lots of cool code in there that will allow you to theory craft and compare builds and team compositions and that kind of thing. So we're going to start off with the shoutcasting reference. Now, this is something that won't be useful to everybody, but it's incredibly useful to people like me who want to cast Vainglory, especially if you are a newer caster and you can't remember all of the ability names. So what it does is it gives you a 3v3 or 5v5 if you want to, but for the sake of ease, let's go 3v3. All you need to do is type in the heroes that you want. Let's say Lyra. This is a really bad composition, obviously. Saw. And actually, no, protect the Saw composition. That works. Let's say Lance. Let's say Vox. And let's say, oh, I don't know, Grace. Nah, Grumjaw. Right. So what it does off the bat straight away is obviously it's going to match them up against each other. It tells you all of their ability names. So that's obviously one of the main things for shoutcasting. You want to be able to know the ability names. If I click on the ability, it tells me exactly what it does, and it shows me all the stats from that ability as well. If I click on his heroic perk, it shows me that too. If I click on Adagio in general, it will show me his basic stats as well as where he scales up to at level 12. And then we'll go through each of those individual abilities and tell you. It'll also give you the in-game recommended builds. So these are the builds, I believe, that come recommended in-game, and it will also just show you those quickly. So this is a really good place to start if you don't know much about heroes specifically and you want to get used to it. And it also gives you a little point of reference to have up on your screen when you're casting Vainglory. If you've got a computer or a laptop, or you've just got a separate iPad or phone or something, you can have this and you can see all of those individual abilities for quick reference, and that will allow you to just be able to sort of seek it out in your head. They do go A, B, C. So obviously, you'll know that Gift of Fire is Adagio's A, Agent of Wrath is B. I think the only piece of feedback I would have for this is that maybe if you put A ability, B ability, or C ability, so A, B, C with a little dash. But I think it's pretty obvious regardless, and that's really just nitpicking there. You can also then... I've got these links down at the bottom, but yeah, this is great piece of referencing for shoutcasting and all that kind of thing, and obviously it gives you great references for particular heroes, whatever you want to know about them, CP scalings, that kind of thing. So that's a very basic part of this tool. Let's have a look at the build stats comparison. This is probably one of the coolest parts of this entire website. Let's have a look. Let's compare Adagio again, and we'll compare him with Batiste. Or in fact, do you know what's even better? If I click that little button there, let's compare Adagio to Adagio. So we've got Adagio versus Adagio here. You've got his weapon powers, weapon power that scales up. You can alter his level to show what weapon power he gets at certain levels, which is really goddamn cool. You've got his CP there. You can put in recommended builds like this. I can also just get rid of these builds. I build to just get rid of these completely would be fantastic, but obviously I've just accidentally locked that in now, so brilliant. You can see all of his base stats and percentages here, so his cooldown percentage, attack speed, his critical hit damage, that kind of thing. And obviously then you can see all of his abilities too. So let's say I want to compare an alternating current Adagio build. We're going to go Dragon's Eye, we'll go Clockwork, and let's say I want to compare... Where is it? I'll search it. You can do the good thing and search broken. Is that coming up? Maybe I need to do it. I think I might have... Well, it's there. Easy to click. And let's say I want to do the similar thing. So alternating current. Let's say, again, Dragon's Eye. Obviously, War Treads would not be ideal, but we're just going to stick with War Treads for the moment. War Treads. Let's see if this... it works. It works. Maybe it just doesn't work for Broken Myth. Metal. So this is obviously just a really bad build, but it's for the sake of it. Well, it's not super bad, but it's kind of bad. Oh, it worked this time. Maybe I was doing something wrong on that side. So I don't want to compare Broken Myth, because obviously that'll give me exactly the same. Let's say I want to compare Shatterglass. The really cool thing about this is that it will tell you, obviously, your total CP and the differences there. You'll see that you've got shield pierce down here, so you've got 30% and you've got 0%. And obviously then it will tell you the actual damage output of your abilities. So you've got a 20% scaling here. It will calculate at level 5. It does 137 fire damage compared to 123. So you notice that that's not a huge difference. Obviously, Shatterglass favors higher scaling carries. You can look at Agent of Wrath and you'll see here, again, these are the damage changes, 254 damage compared to 226. Arcane Fire bonus, 188 compared to 223. And then if you look down here at the ultimate, you'll see 100 CP, you'll see 1,565 versus 1,635. So it calculates the damage difference on the abilities based on the build that you have locked in. So it does a whole load of cool stuff like that. And obviously then you can use that 30% shield pierce to work out whether it's good against Aegis. What would be really cool is if you said something like opponent has Aegis or opponent has this amount of shield, and it will be able to calculate the damage that you would do versus kind of people with shield. That's a step forward. That would be something that I guess the guys would be working on in the future. But from the base level, it shows you really, really clear stats about how your ability damages go up and down based on the build, which is fantastic. It doesn't account for Dragon's Eye stacks. I guess that's something that they will add in the future as well. But overall, it's such a cool base to be able to be able to compare heroes like this and compare damage. So you can compare loads of things like aftershock builds and all that kind of stuff. It's really, really, really cool. Let's move on to the next part. So this just shows you hero charts. This is also something that's really cool. It's not much customization, but it shows you kind of exactly what natural scaling, because this is something that you don't often think about when looking at Vainglory heroes, natural scaling. Finn has got the highest max health at level 12, which makes sense, and you can show his armor and shield here, down to Lance there, and all the way down to Petal, who is the least tanky hero in the game, closely followed by Saw, which is very interesting. Saw, a super vulnerable hero. And you look down at weapon power, Lance actually has the highest weapon power scaling in the game, closely followed by Batiste, but all the way down to Saw, who has one of the lowest weapon power scalings in the game, simply because of his heroic perk. And you can see that all of these guys stuck on 10 because they have a crystal power scaling on their basic attack. Movement speed, Flicker at the highest, all the way down to Baron at the lowest, you can see that. Range, Adagio has the highest range in the game, all the way down to Cruel, who actually has the lowest range in the game, on par with Flicker, so they've got a very, very low attack range. Attack speed, Fortress is the highest, all the way down to Koshka at the lowest. You can see energy, Varia at the highest, all the way down to Saw and the people without the energy. Health regeneration, and you get the picture. It's a really good way to compare base stats on all of the heroes, because something that you don't often take into consideration, and going through base stats as their number value is very tedious. And this just shows you it in a really nice format to show, okay, who is tanky, and who isn't tanky, you know, and you can just kind of compare it from that front. Let's have a look at hero traits. So you can see this is a kind of a cool little way to sort of, I guess, compare specific traits. And this is based, I think, from the in-game mix of the in-game stats and the speed that they have, and do they have mobility, or that kind of thing. And each of them are individually assessed based on how much mobility they have and how much utility they provide. So you get a kind of a blanket pattern of what each individual hero does. And you can see Celeste, super offensive, but a little bit of utility, very low speed, very low defense. Fortress, high speed, decent utility, bit of an all-rounder. Glaive, similar. So it shows you like a little blanket picture of where the strengths of that hero lies and what they're designed to do. Really, really cool. As I said, like just a nice little addition to comparing Vainglory heroes. Item references, this is something that's really cool. You can just literally look at the item. It will give you, this is going to be great for me, by the way, guys. It will show you exactly what it does with its passive, what it builds from. And you can do that for any item in the game, as you can see here, both 3v3 and 5v5. And you can do it all through sort of all these different, I guess, classifications. So again, really cool. I love the animations as well. This is I'm not doing this because I'm getting paid to do this, by the way, guys. I just think this is an amazing tool, and Smash is someone that I've met before, and he's a really cool guy. And you can see here just a filterable reference from all of the in-game builds, and I'm assuming they'll add a way to filter between heroes right now, but you can just go down alphabetically as it stands. So let's say I want to do carry, I want to do all, so you can see Adagio's carries, Baron's carries, Batiste's carries, and these are just the in-game recommended builds, and it's especially good if you're a new player and want to assess the builds before you go into the game. It's just a cool way to have a look at that. In the future, I imagine they'll be able to add a section where they have pro player recommended builds, or recommended builds even from my videos potentially, so it will be a resource to compile high-level builds and utilize that. So this is just a very quick overview. If you want to go check it out, Smash's Twitter has a link, and also you can get it at shoutcasting.matmct, Matt with 2 T's.com. So that's shoutcasting, shoutcasting.matmct.com. I'll put the links in the description below and in the pinned comment, but you should go and check this out because it's a really cool community-driven tool that needs a lot of love. And we need to, in the Vainglory support community, we need to support these kind of projects because they are fantastic. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I am going to be putting out a content schedule. I'm likely going to be doing videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, 3 videos a week. I'll have surprise videos in there when I get the time. I've just been so busy with work recently. I'll be doing recommended heroes and builds probably this week, but obviously it's a little bit late into the patch now, but we'll give it our best shot. And 3.4, it'll be a lot easier, a lot quicker, sorry. So hopefully we'll get that done ASAP. See you guys. Thank you very much.